Bleach is over, weirdos, you can all go home. Welcome, people of Earth and elsewhere, to the channel where the content is spam and I am Crackers. For today's spam, I'll be talking about Bleach, the end, and why we can't be happy about it. 15 years ago, Tite Kubo started the hit series with the adventures of Ichigo Strawberry Kurosaki and his friends, and it wasn't even 2 years ago that I myself mustered up all of my motivation to dive into it. Despite not being around for as long as the diehard fans, 686 chapters was still enough to get me to form a bond with this manga, and I found myself eagerly awaiting the ending to see how it would finish off, if not just to say that I managed to do that. But it doesn't take a genius to see that Bleach has had its fair share of problems. I walked along the bottom of a plot canyon, only to see multiple much smaller holes littering it, with a few contradictions thrown in there for good measure. And even with my optimistic outlook, I had to say that I've had my fair share of complaints. The series finale not being the least among them. On the upside, I can't say that even in the last moments I wasn't finding things to love. From small things I didn't know I wanted to see so bad until they happened, to the kids that were spawned in the final chapter. I figure the fan service has to have counted for something, right? Or at least that's what I wanted to say. Nostalgia can only carry me so far, guys. Most personal reviews won't sugarcoat their conclusion, and I don't intend to either. Bleach's ending sucked. And here I am to tell you exactly why. Fair warning now, we're gonna go into spoiler territory, so don't be complaining if there's stuff in here you don't already know. I did warn you, and if you'd rather just watch the painting, feel free to mute me and continue watching spoiler-free. Let's start at the beginning, okay? In early 2015, I finally gathered up all of my superficial reasons I'd collected over time into one place and resolved to read the manga called Bleach. I was lucky enough to be part of a library system, and for a while there were no less than 10 volumes of Bleach in my house at any given time. Much to my surprise, I really liked this story and found myself quickly invested in the characters. I don't know what I was expecting to get, but it wasn't what I got. It enthralled me, and I was rarely seen without one or another Bleach volume in hand. However, after the first couple of arcs, I started finding things to complain about, and it wasn't because I was looking for them. Things like Aizen's convoluted plans and attempted character developments presented themselves quite readily for my criticism, though I turned a blind eye for a while and decided I'd finish the series before saying it just failed in the end. As with many of my reviews, I did my best to find things that could balance out my negative feelings, even with how tedious it seemed to become with reading the final arc week after week, wondering when it was going to stop. I wanted to just put on some rose-colored glasses and be one of those people on the internet writing random pop culture reviews for a website. To say, Bleach wasn't that great, but hey, we got Kenpachi Bankai and a tall Hitsugaya, and in the end it was a happy ending. Or at least I wanted to be able to go, phew, it's finally over, and even if other people didn't like it, I can move forward at least. But then it actually happened. It actually ended. Too fast. Much too fast. Even by my overly excitable standard, the ending happened too suddenly and barely wrapped everything up. A neat little bow would have been nice, but instead we got a crap ton of loose ends. I mean, what did we actually manage to establish after Yolok was finally defeated? Well, Chapter 685. We do a full 10-year time skip. What happened in the meantime? Well, Ukitake is dead now. Sadness. You know, for plot reasons, and Rukia replaces him as the captain of the Gotei 13. Talshiro Hatsugaya is a midget again. Darn it. And that's it. So where's everybody else? Urahara, Yoroichi, Grimjow, and Nell, just to name the ones that come to mind right away. Who else that we're not seeing is actually dead, and where is Ichigo? I thought him and Rukia were supposed to be a set thing in the end, but if that were the case, wouldn't he be around for her captain's promotion? I mean, it almost seemed like something else was going on, and well, then we got Chapter 686. My intuition was right. Somehow Orihime managed to marry Ichigo, and they had this adorable little ginger Ichi-clone child together. Seriously, guys, he's stupidly cute. I didn't see that coming, but on the flip side, Renji and Rukia had a kid together as well, so I wasn't going to complain about that. Ichigo's friends from high school and his sisters managed to cameo, and they're all right and stuff. Chad's a professional boxer, Oreo is a doctor, and the last couple of pages managed to give me a weak but still happy, fuzzy feeling, and the series came to an all-around nice ending, even though I knew the debates were about to get very heated about it. I mean, I could live with it. Or at least that was until I was given a rumor that Kubo only ended the story the way he did in order to make the last volume of the series less marketable to the Japanese fanbase and hurt the publishers. A lot of people over in Japan seem to really like Rukia and Ichigo being together. Like a lot of them, it's ridiculous. When this caught my attention, I was distraught. I didn't very much like the idea that the ships and how everything turned out was just a way to get under the skin of Weekly Shonen Jump. I mean, that would just be a blow to the fans, and that wasn't how it was supposed to go. I mean, I didn't know what to think. I managed to talk it out with some people who admittedly weren't as into the series as I was, however little that actually was in the first place. And I decided not to go along with the rumor and just try to stay happy. Really, I didn't have time to cry about Bleach being over the way it was. Unfortunately, the other details of the ending that didn't make sense managed to finally convince me that this rumor was most likely true. There was no way this could be how Kubo wanted to end his series, even if he was suddenly told to end it in 3 chapters. Note, a lot of people have overlooked the following things because they've been overwhelmed, as I was, by the mighty battleships. Seriously, can't we focus on the important things, like Uryu being a doctor? Wait, when did that happen? Wasn't he always at odds with his father and saying earlier that he was never going to become a doctor? There was no true resolution between the two of them to suggest that Uryu would go back on his previous statement. I mean, if Kubo had been given the 10 more chapters he supposedly planned out before Bleach was cut, we might have been given an explanation, but definitely not how it was currently set up. I mean, maybe with a little time and contrived reasoning, I guess that flaw could be fixed, but what about Chad? Early on, wasn't it established that part of his character was that Chad was this gentle giant? He made a vow not to fight and use his size and strength for his own gain, only to protect others? So why the fuzz did he become a professional boxer? That was what should have hit me in the head the first time I saw it. No matter how rushed the series was, what kind of contradictions, plot holes, and bad writing Bleach or Kubo could be accused of, this was not something that could be attributed to one of those things. No, I refuse to believe that in his haste, Kubo fully decided to deface one of the fundamental aspects of one of his original main characters. It makes no sense, even if Chad was barely present towards the end of the final fight, as was most of the cast. Let's not single out Chad in that aspect. And this made me realize that the ending of Bleach really is just a farce. With this in front of me, I can honestly say that, out of principle, I can't be happy with the ending of Bleach, except maybe to say that I did see it all the way through to the end, and it is in fact over. Oh, and cute future babies too, but that's aside the point. The point is, it's not good. Sure, Jump gave Kubo the shaft, but there has to be more behind his motivations for doing what he did, and I'm sure that if I knew all the details, I wouldn't blame him for it either. But these feelings are also conflicting with the feeling that says, what do you mean there might have been a different ending under different circumstances? For better or for worse, the final chapters of Bleach are not what they're supposed to be. I mean, they're not what the mangaka wanted to end his work with. That's the part that really hit me hard and upset me in the end. What could Bleach have been if the situation had been different? I may never know, and no, there is no way I can honestly say that I am happy with the ending. I imagine that people who are happy with it are blissfully unaware of the actual circumstances of it, though I admit I don't know most of them myself, but you guys get what I mean, right? All in all, Bleach is over, and it sucks. I find it interesting that I found an article later where some other Jump authors were congratulating Kubo on his success. Surprisingly enough, or unsurprisingly, most of them ended up saying something along the lines of, "Take a nice long rest, you've earned it." So yeah, Kubo, take a nice long break. While Bleach isn't what it could have been, you managed to actually finish it, and no matter how badly the ending was, by choice or no choice, this manga managed to make its mark indefinitely, and you deserve the credit for that. On that note, I'd like to advise everyone to stop hoping for a spin-off with the future babies, not with Ichi-clone and this spunky Renji Rukia child. For all intents and purposes, they aren't supposed to exist, and I firmly believe that Kubo at least has no plans to do any more with them than what has already been done. So yeah, it's not gonna happen, I'm just telling you now. Before I go, I just want to try and end this on a note that says Bleach may not be completely doomed. Now, this is also completely circumstantial. But if, say, the anime was to get a final season that includes the last arc, and we give it the Yu Yu Hakusho treatment, as in filling out the ending and making it more satisfying overall than the original manga, maybe we get a glimpse of what was originally planned for Bleach's finale, and perhaps a better ending in general. Maybe what Kubo wanted could come out in animated form, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know, it's just a theory and possibly a horribly hopeful pipe dream, but for a little while longer anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and believe in it. Then again, I was also hoping for Ulquiorra to come back right up until the end, and we all saw how that pipe dream ended. In the gutter. Well, now, that's all, folks. Bleach is done for. Now, I haven't really gone into depth enough about how I felt about the series as a whole here, but that little rant is going to have to wait for another video, and that is not guaranteed to happen. That being said, I wait for that little spark to ignite the hope of Bleach might still have a chance. But while I wait, I think I'll just stick to my JoJo's and other such good series that I am currently following. Thanks all of you who managed to watch this video until the end, and I hope I've managed to convince you to subscribe to this channel for more content like this. If not, maybe you'll look for Spam Crackers on Twitter for updates on videos you might actually enjoy? Well, it's a thought anyway. See this and other art on DeviantArt, and remember to comment and suggest something, whether it be art, a video, or an anime for me to watch or manga to read. I've got more JoJo's and stuff to do, but until then, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Ciao!